Good morning. Welcome to Goodwill Commodities. In this presentation, we are going to see how we can trade in Mcx crude oil today and for this week. Before looking into that, let us see what happened last week and what we expected last week. As you all know, every single candlestick here represents 1 hour. Whenever I place the cursor on any particular candlestick, you can see the date and time below. These vertical dotted lines indicates the price opening and closing for the respective days. You could see this long red color dropped candlestick that indicates last week Monday's price opening, that was on 8th of July. What we expected last week was we expected that crude has got the potential to continue and maintain its uptrend, but in order to maintain the uptrend, we expected crude to follow or to satisfy certain criteria. That is, the crude oil should continuously trade above 6220. If there is a continuous closing above 6220 and 6260, then we expected crude has got the potential to continue and maintain its uptrend. Now let us see what happened after the price opening. After the price opening, you can see that was on Monday, the price came down and tested the 6230, exactly the 6220 zones. From there it took the support and it gave a bounce back and it closed around above 6260. So the next day the price opened bit lower, and we can say it was also a spike down price opening. So what we expected on the next day, also we expected that crude has got the potential to maintain its uptrend, but it should satisfy the same criteria. In order for the crude to maintain its uptrend, we strongly expected that crude should put a closing above 6220 so that it can pull lot of buyers. So what happened on Tuesday, you can see that the price came down. So it was trading down and it took the support around 6160. But what happened was, exactly on Tuesday it closed near 6220, our key expected zone. So the next day the price opened higher, so that pulled lot of buyers according to our expectation. So the crude went and tested the key zone and the high that was created on the previous week, that was on Saturday. Crude created a high, so it went and tested the high. So on the next day we expected crude to maintain its uptrend and to have a target of 6420. After reaching 6420, what we expected was the crude will lose its momentum. So we advised all the conservative traders to stay away from the market after reaching 6420. So now let us see what happened on 11th. So on 11th, the price, after the price opening, as I told you, all these double dotted vertical lines indicate the price opening and closing for the respective days. So it went up exactly after testing 6420, where we expected that the market has got the potential to form a double top, having this top that was created, the high that was created on 6th of July. We had explained everything very clearly in our video presentations. If you have any doubt, you can go back and see our presentation in our website, and also you can follow us on YouTube also. So from that the market lost its momentum, it came down and it came down till 6320, and even it broke 6320. As we know that the crude has got the potential to take some support around 6260, where it took the support and closed near 6280. So what happened on 12th? So the price opened exactly where it closed on the previous day. So it took some support around 6260 and it gave a bounce back and it closed above 6330, that was around 6360. This was the price action that happened on Friday. So on Saturday we know the price just opened above 6360 and closed near 6360. So this was the entire price action that happened on last week. So what we can do for this week? In order to make our trend projection easier, we had modified the trend line by connecting the low that happened on 9th. You can see that by connecting the low that happened on 9th and by connecting the low that happened on last week Friday. So we had projected the trend line. If the market is likely to follow its trend, it should follow this trend line. So as we always say, trend lines are the most powerful tool if you know how to use that. Again, we had drawn another trend line by connecting the low that happened on 1st of July. This was the area where the market shifted its gear and then it gave a very good bull run. So we took that point and connected with the low that happened. We cannot say that low, connected with the low that helped us to draw this trend line, uptrend line. So here we had connected this point that happened on 12th of July. So by connecting this, we had drawn a trend projection in order to identify this trend. So these are the two trend lines which will be helpful for us to identify the trend, because if the price is likely to follow the trend, it will stay in line with the trend. Whenever the price breaks this trend line, it means that it is going to test the next support zone. So that was the reason why we are drawing these trend lines. So we know that if we see the entire price action again, we had identified some key areas. What are those key areas? The key areas are you can see 6160. Why we had marked this key area? We know that on earlier, that was on 3rd of July, the market found a strong resistance in this zone, so that pushed the price down. So the market was consolidating in this zone by taking a resistance around 6160. Only after breaking the 6160, clearly the market gave a bull run and it created a high of around 6420 and above. So that was this is the reason why we took this zone. Again, we know that on 9th the price came down and took some support around this zone. Once the price entered into this zone, it gave a bounce back. So we had identified this zone and we had marked it as one of the major support zone. The second zone, if you want to know that, we had marked this as 6220, which we used on the previous week. That was last week. We used this zone to identify the trend. So in order for the crude oil to maintain its uptrend, surely the market should stay above 6220. We also know from the histories of support and resistance, this 6220 zone acted as a high and very potential zone earlier. So we had marked this zone. So what we are trying to do is that we are also following the average in order to identify it and guide us to take a proper decision. This average has also entered into the zone of 6160, which makes us easier to identify that these two zones, 6160 and 6220, these two zones are going to be the very potential zone in this for this coming week. And if you see that within this contract can expire within the end of this week, so you should be also careful while dealing with the contract when it is going to expire. So have that in mind before taking any entry point. Have it in mind. So these are the two zones which we are going to target for this week. So in order for the crude oil, that is buyers to maintain, if you are a buyer, if you are expecting crude to maintain its uptrend, then these are the zones which the market should satisfy. The first thing is it should stay within the trend line, which indicates us that the price can break this top, that was 6420, so that you can expect new highs after in this particular week. So this is the first criteria, that is the price should stay within the trend line. Even if it breaks the trend line, these are the support zones, 6220 zone and 6160. You cannot take the 6260 also very easily. These are the major support zones where all the buyers will be expecting the market to bounce back. Like us, they would have also identified these zones, and there will be some buying happening within the zone so that they can maintain this trend. So be very careful for this week. If the price can maintain all these zones, then it will create a new high, and initially you can expect crude oil to test 6520. But for sellers, again and again repeatedly we are saying that as a trend follower, unless until we get a very clear confirmation, we don't go and bet against the trend. Have this in mind. This presentation, particularly this weekly presentation and positional presentations, always depends upon the trend. We follow the trend very seriously. Unless until we get a very clear confirmation, we don't go and bet against the trend. So in order for the sellers, you will have some chance. We know that the market is weakening on the top. We cannot make any guessing here. So if the price closes continuously below 6220, that will give you an opportunity for selling. Till then you need to wait for confirmation. You cannot simply gamble in this market, and you cannot bet against the trend. Don't try to fight against the market, try to go with the market. So if you want to go with the market, sellers, please wait that the price, if the price is taking a U-turn and it's reversing its trend, it will put a 2-day continuous closing below 6220. If that happens, then we will think about whether we should go against the trend or not. As far as crude oil, till now, on seeing the yesterday's weekly price action and everything, we can conclude that crude has got the potential to maintain its uptrend if it satisfies these criteria. So where you can expect the market to open today? On seeing the NYMEX price direction, we are expecting crude to open somewhere near 6320s. It may be subjected to changes based on where the rupee is going to open, which means that if the price opens according to our expectation, what does that mean? It means that it is going to open right away within the key trend zone. So this is our trend line. So if the price opens within this 6320 today, it means that it is right away going to challenge the trend lines. So be very careful, closely monitor the market, follow all the resistance line. We know the market had already formed a double top here, so almost the market went here. So today we are expecting the price to open somewhere near 6320. So follow the price actions very carefully in crude oil. Why we are insisting a lot on these price actions and this particular zone? Just because whenever the price was staying with the trend, there is no doubt, like what happened in the past 2 weeks, the price was completely in line with the trend. But in this particular zone where most traders make losses, because when the price is in the sideways consolidation zone, where most traders are likely to make loss. So you should understand all the price actions. So we had explained it very clearly. So let us see what's going to happen during the trading session. Follow our presentations very carefully. Thanks a lot for watching our video.